Greetings, and I'm excited to be with you. It is day 28 of Elul. 28 in Hebrew is koach, which means strength or power. So today is bringing in even more than all previous days of the month, the power for what Elul is all about, which is to put the past in the past, to turn our mistakes into wisdom and into power, empowerment, and to prepare for a new future, which doesn't just happen in action. It happens in where you throw your intention, where you throw your focus forward, where you throw your mountain climbing hook into the future. What is it? What kind of world are you willing to be committed to inside of your own body and your own life, starting now? Rosh Hashanah, I will repeat this quickly. Rosh Hashanah, on Rosh Hashanah, every year Rosh Hashanah, God zeroes out the past. Literally, the divine energy rises back to its source and waits for us to, through the blowing of the shofar, which is like a trumpet of war, and through our declarations and prayers to God, to rule over us as King of the world, a King of justice and righteousness, of divine power and divine blessing for the good. Through those prayers and our intentions and how much we are aligned with all of that, a new energy, completely new energy, destiny comes into the world and unfolds throughout the year. I mentioned yesterday something that's going around in certain circles, that the acronym in Hebrew for the year, the coming year, is Tafshin Pei Aleph. Pei Aleph is 81. And basically, this idea of Pei Aleph, it's in certain mystical texts, it has been written that the year Pei, which is the year that's going out, will be a year of a lot of troubles. But the year Pei Aleph will be a year, the acronym actually refers to Arenim Plaot. God says, Pei Aleph, it's I will show you wonders. I will show you wonders, like the core, unclothed, unmitigated, undiminished wonders of God. What is a wonder? Something that's not possible yet happens anyway, like infinity being expressed in the finite, like the completeness of your soul and divine source being expressed in your body and personality, like infinite life being expressed within the physical world, things like that. All of humanity, all of diversity, finding a way to be together, illuminated. Things that seem impossible, but the truth is that we're in a backwards world. The truth is that everything is already divine. But because of the powers of concealment, which were created by God and definitely activated and manifested by the human condition, which was also created by God, through our free choice, we are finding our way back to the truth. I think I left something out here. Because of the divine concealment on the truth that everything is God, we live in a backwards world where everything starts with darkness. But because of the power of free choice, God's free choice, which is enclosed in the heart, mind, soul of man, and because we are evolving, this is a birth, gestation and birth process. The truth will be revealed, and it's being revealed, starting to be revealed as we speak. So among the many prophecies of our times is that the governments and leaders will become, leadership bodies will become places of immorality. As I said, I think yesterday, things when we look at what's breaking down, when we're aghast at what's showing up, some of us are more tuned in than others to what's showing up, but there's a lot of evil going on out there, and a lot of it is being promulgated by the establishment, by leadership bodies. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't know yet, think of the worst thing you could think of, and it's worse than that, okay? And it's the world is overrun. These forces, the title of this live is Spiritual Warfare. These forces, this battle of good against evil started, you could say, when God shone his infinite light, the Orient Soap, and then contracted it, concealed it with the Tzimtzum, with an even stronger power. He created the Garden of Eden, this beautiful home, this paradise for man, everything perfect, and then put a snake in the garden. Commanded Adam and Eve to eat from every tree in the garden and enjoy it, except for the one tree. And then the snake convincing them to eat from the one tree, causing the fall. And that is the paradigm from the very beginning. Why? Because the purpose for creation is for us to be finite and yet infinite. For us, like the story of the Velveteen Rabbit, if you ever read that, for us to become real. God is creating us. It wasn't a one-time thing. And the only way to create us as real, not like angels who are receiving light, not like souls who are basking under the cup of the throne of glory in the infinite bliss of divine light. No, like actual, real, divine partners, co-creative partners in this universe. Not that God is our king. We'll be crowning him king again on Rosh Hashanah. God is our father. God is our master. But ultimately, at the innermost level, God is our beloved. And the only way you can have a beloved is when you are two partners in one enterprise. When you share that partnership and you work together and create together. For that to happen, what is the core of our eternity is the darkness that separates us from the truth. That each time we make a choice in this spiritual war for good, each time we make a choice to learn a bit of Torah, to give some help or some money to someone who needs it, to overcome our selfish inclinations to do something godly, to connect when we don't feel like connecting, to live with integrity when we don't feel like living with integrity, to learn the deepest depths of Torah and to integrate that into our minds and hearts. Every time we make a choice to do that, we are weaving eternity and infinity through the physical, and it's becoming permanent. At one moment, like when an electrical circuit is being built, there are many, many, many pieces to bring to the, let's say, home, to put in the walls, to connect together. But when the last piece is, and you don't see any light, all you see is a mess. But when the last piece is put in, flip the switch, the lights go on, and that's where we are about to be now. The lights are going to go on any minute. Who are you going to be in the matter? How much more of the, like I said yesterday, here's the truth, here's the concealment. The truth has to break through the concealment. The light has to break through the darkness and the illusion. So we see everything breaking down. We see that which is hidden, all the hidden agendas coming out, and it's not pleasant. But you have to remember this. I'm going to say it really slowly. We're seeing it because it's leaving, not because it's coming in. Again, we're seeing it because it's leaving, not because it's coming in. So actually, just a little bit about prophecy. There's so many prophecies of the times, and I hope to share some of them in the near future. But basically, one of the things that the Torah teaches is that God, at the end of days where we are now, we're not at the end of life. We're at the end of life as we know it. We're moving into a far, far, far better life in the body, in the physical world. That's the target. God desires with all the passion of unconditional desire to have a dwelling place, meaning to be revealed and connected to and experienced and expressed in the physical world. Yes, the physical world will get upgraded a little bit, like sickness will go away, death will go away. The nature of the physical will be a lot more transparent to its source. The souls will shine through the bodies, but the same body, just version 2.0, the same world, but all the lights going on. Like some people report when they have near-death experiences and come back, that the colors are just from another realm, that the aliveness is just infinite compared to what the most aliveness they experienced in their waking life, in their normal life. That the love, I had a long conversation with somebody who wrote a book, her name is Rachel Noam. Years ago, she had a near-death experience, and she described, it's very imprinted in my brain, the love that she felt as she went through the tunnel. She felt this incredible love that she said was not like any love she ever experienced. It was like every love, sibling to sibling, parent to child, lover to lover, whatever, friend to friend, but so much magnified, all of those together, but dimensions beyond. And she experienced it. So will we. So will we in our bodies. So we, at the end of time, it says that God, at the end of days, bad old days that are on their way out now, God will bring back all of the big players who promulgated evil in the world. Nimrod, Pharaoh, some of the more recent ones, whoever they are, no need to elaborate, but all of the bad players, like the evil kings who were fighting against the revelation of God in the world. So you had Abraham and his descendants fighting to reveal God, monotheism, a just and right society and way of life based on divine wisdom and divine purpose. And then against him were all many other forces. And that balance, that as it's termed, mida connected mida, the good, the bad opposing the good, the godly, the bad opposing the godly. Actually, the definition of bad, evil, is simply that which suppresses and conceals godliness. So it doesn't have to be like, it can just be, any choice you make that suppresses the godliness that you're here to reveal from within you and from without you. It's not necessarily about a judgment, it's about discernment. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. A lot of that inner internalization of the snake created judgmentalism, created judgment, shame, guilt, blame, out projecting everything we don't love about ourselves to other people. That's all judgment. That's the dark side of the truth of the tree of knowledge, which is discernment. To be able to see, to be able to choose, to be able to align, to be able to embody. Wow. So in our times, we are seeing the opening as it's leaving, it's being revealed. More things will be revealed. This will be a year of profound revelation of a lot of things. So from the very beginning, whether it started with the fallen angels and the feeling that that forcibly took the wives of men, the daughters of men, and mated with them and created a race of giants, to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Amorah, and then to those people who built the Tower of Babel. God had to destroy the entire world with the flood of Noah because everything was perverting its way, meaning everything was working together in concert to conceal divinity, to conceal the divine plan. So that thread, that energy, that snake energy that God did create in order that we could internalize it, transmute it, and turn it to our eternity, our infinity, using divine free choice. But all of that has been woven through different players in the divine stage, and the human stage, with a divine purpose throughout every generation. And guess what? There are a lot of them in the world right now. Same energy, even same souls, different roles. So we all, here's the good news, we also, each of us is a microcosm. Each of us has these two sides: reveal God, conceal God, align with purpose, resist it, making a difference in the world, building, being part of the solution, hiding, withdrawing, protecting, hoarding because of the ego, protecting the ego-based identity. And we each have, it's actually called, from certain perspective, it's called the evil inclination and the good inclination. We have those forces in us. Why? Because each of us is a whole world. Every person is an olam maleh, is a complete world. We have within us the same battle, different of us to different degrees, in different ways, different flavors, different levels of involvement. But even if it's very subtle, even if you're a really nice person, let's say, there's still going to be. Then it just means that your work is more like delicate, but it's no less important. In fact, sometimes it's more important. That last little delicate bit is where the circuit completes and the lights go on. So consider yourself a battlefield, not in a bad way, in an incredible way. Consider that the battle is destined to be won. Consider that when you make an appropriate choice, a godly choice, it actually pushes away the enemy from the other side. It weakens the forces that are incarnate and not incarnate of the side of evil negativity that has woven through all of history. There are things happening. I will just say this. I'm not privy to, deep information from governments or, government leaders, but I have been following events very closely in a lot of different ways for the last several years. And it is looking to me very likely that there have been a lot of things happening behind the scenes to remove evildoers, evil players, evil system that had co-opted, in some cases are still co-opting government, corporations, media. There's some good people out there and there's some very not good people out there. Spiritual warfare, that's what it is. I'm going to talk about this more because as we move into the new year, I think it's really important. There's no time for political correctness anymore. But the point is that when you make a correct choice, when you make a godly choice, when you decide to be part of the oneness, part of the solution, part of the revelation of divinity, part of co-creating a sustainable world, not instead of taking care of your life as part of it, you actually add a tremendous force to the side of good. And since we're so close, and the Rambam even says this, although when he said it, we were centuries from here, centuries back, but the Rambam said even then, that the Maimonides, that every person needs to view himself as if the world is completely balanced, like one of those balance scales, the two cups on the rod, such that balance between good and evil, such that his one good action, his one good word, and even his one good thought can tip the scales over to salvation and Geula, redemption and revelation. So if that was said then, now it is so deeply true. So remember that you're in a spiritual war. This is the day of Koach, of the force of Ella, the power of Ella. We're being given power from the relationship with a beloved, the beloved relationship with the king. What is the beloved relationship? The love relationship. Ani Lidodi Vidodi Li. That is the relationship of destiny. That is the relationship that comes as a result of the work that we have done through the darkness, through the incarnations, through the millennia, to subdue the darkness and then ultimately to make the darkness shine by turning it over at its root, by revealing its true purpose, by bringing it back to God. This is the time for those final preparations, those final finishing touches. It could be any moment. We're going to rock and roll in the coming year. But you get to decide right now if you want to take your place in that army as a player. And that just means consciousness, really choosing, knowing the paradigm that it's about concealing or revealing, knowing that everything you do makes a massive difference. And that's basically what it's about. We're in prophetic times, incredible times. The fact that we're shaken up and a lot of people are scared. Hey, you know, I'm here to help people not be scared, but not because being scared doesn't have a place, it does. A lot of people have been walking around for a long time with their eyes closed, you know, listening to the celestial music, shopping, drinking, bowling, gambling. Not that I'm saying those things are necessarily bad, it depends on you, but the point is that we've been asleep, and our destiny is not to be asleep. Our destiny is to be ultimately, incredibly, impossibly, magnificently, gloriously, divinely alive. So this is the wake-up time and the shake-up that's bringing out that the hidden evil from underneath the surface, bringing out everything, like looking around like, where did this come from? Where did these riots come from? Where did this craziness come from? Where does the virus come from? All of that. So it's coming out to leave. It is not coming in. It's been there, a rot, a deadly, I'm looking for a word, like a deadly rot that had a grasp, a chokehold on all of humanity, and it was increasing the hold, like poison ivy creeping like a vine that wraps around something, and that something doesn't pay attention until all of a sudden that's pretty much where we were at not too long ago, and all of that is now breaking down, waking people up. It's okay to be uneasy. You gotta be fluid. You have to relax and let it go, flow with it. But just remember that you are a warrior in this spiritual war, and you can choose to step up and claim that destiny. Will change your life, and it will change the world. Okay, see you tomorrow for the last day of our Elul 30 days of New Light activation. So, and then we'll be getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. Now, I just want to say one more thing. If you're Jewish, very important for you to hear the shofar. We're not actually, we don't blow the shofar on Shabbat for a variety of reasons. Shabbat is higher than even the shofar. So whatever is done by the hearing the shofar, blowing the shofar, it's done by God on Shabbat. But to be in that energy, Sunday, Rosh Hashanah is 48 hours everywhere in the world. Sunday to hear the shofar, to say some of the prayers if possible of coronating God King, There's a symbiotic relationship between the creator and us. We're really part of one vast organism. Obviously, the creator is the whole of us and we're a cell, but nevertheless, the cells have to be healthy, and without the cells, there is no whole, right? In this creation project. So if you are not Jewish, you don't have to go hear the shofar, but you definitely need to download and connect to this energy. Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of all of humanity. It's when Adam and Eve were created, and Adam and Eve are the collective general souls, the universal soul that all of us are a part of. We're like a cell in that cosmic body, each in our own role. So decide, choose. I encourage you to choose to be a warrior in this war. The rewards are going to be infinite and forever. And anyway, it's time to win. Enough is enough. All right, see you tomorrow for our final day of the new light activation. Take care, everybody. Shana Tova U'Tuka. Good and sweet year. It should be written in the book of life, written and sealed for good and sweet year, physically and spiritually. Lots of love from Northern Israel.